People are starting to come in. Hi Sarah. Great. I'm thinking of doing this in widescreen, also Querformat. If widescreen doesn't work for you, let me know and I'll change my phone to portrait mode. So I'm not sure how widescreen works with an IG Live. Yeah, nice. How are you guys doing? Let me know in the comments. What you're gonna need for today's class is a mat, 2 yoga blocks if you have them. If not, it's not a problem at all. And something to drink, maybe a bottle of water. And that's basically it. I'm just gonna wait like a couple more minutes or maybe 1 or 2 more minutes, see if any questions or anything come up. Very excited to work on your front splits with you. Also, if you want, let me know if you already have experience in stretching or if you're completely new to stretching. Maybe if you have your splits already, so I know a bit how to structure the class. Okay, if you have any questions during the class, like if it's something concerning an exercise that we're doing right now, you can always type them in. I'll come check from time to time if there are any questions, but if it's something like in general or anything, you can also ask them at the end of the class, then I have more time to answer them. All right, then I think we're going to start. You can sit down on your mat. I want to start with a little intention setting exercise because flexibility depends very much on our mindset and basically on our brain to body communication. So I want to start with a little bit of an intention setting exercise. Then we'll start the warm-up and then we add the stretches. So in the warm-up, we're also going to do lots of active flexibility exercises, which are very important to prevent injuries. Okay, just find a comfortable seat. Roll your shoulders up and back down. You can have your hands on your knees or wherever you feel comfortable. Maybe even close your eyes. And then just inhale and exhale. Just let your breath come in a natural rhythm. And now if you want, you can set an intention for this class. Maybe that can be accepting yourself wherever you are. Maybe even not to push your body beyond its limits. Maybe just relax. Listen to your body. Whatever you need today, or whatever you want to take away from this class. See how you feel when you think about that intention. Does it feel good? What images come up? Inhale one more time, deep inhale. Inhale your intention, maybe reach your arms up if you like. And exhale, release. And then slowly make your way up to standing. Take your time. Of course, you can also ask me any questions in German. If you don't understand anything, just ask and I can repeat and explain it again in German. And once you're standing, open your feet a little bit wider. And let's start with a quick but intense warm-up, since we only have an hour, or like not even an hour left. Because I think Instagram just cuts off the live after an hour, so we should make it before that. Alright, look up and down, up to the ceiling and down to the floor. And of course you can add some music if you want. I didn't play any music now because I think Instagram just tries to blend out any background noises anyway, so you wouldn't hear it very well. Head back to the center and look left and right. Back to the center. Push your shoulders down and away from your ears and then tilt your head, your ear towards your shoulder. Connect to your breath. And look down towards your toes. Your head is still tilted to the side. And back up to the center. Then over to the other side. Look straight ahead for now. Just feel the nice stretch in your neck. And then look down to your toes. Bring your head back to the center and start rolling your shoulders. We'll just move our whole body before we start focusing on our legs and hips. Switch direction. Arms back down and start pushing your chest forward. Don't move your hips. So your hips stay where they are in the center. Engage your tummy. Push your chest forward and back. Forward and back. And when you push it forward, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Really engage those back muscles. And now we go side to side, right and left. Again, your hips don't move, only your upper body moves. Nice. And now draw big circles with your chest. When we're doing the splits, basically we have to work with our whole body and especially our back, because when we're sitting in the splits, we also have to arch our back, switch direction, and so we have to make sure our back is warm as well. And back to the center. Circle your hips and circle your wrists at the same time. Bring your arms up over your head. And from here, switch direction. And hands back down. Nice. Alright. Scoot your feet closer together and come to stand on one leg. If you want, you can hold on to a chair or something, or maybe your wall, so you don't lose balance. Shift the weight onto one leg. Make sure your standing leg is straight as well. So you don't want to hyperextend that knee to the back, so you don't want to lock it back there. So if you're very likely to do that, just have a little micro bend in your knee. So your leg looks almost straight, but your knee is a little bit bent. You pick up the second leg, point your toes, and we're gonna draw big circles. Focus on one point in front of you on the floor. Slow circles, engage your glutes. And now switch direction. Try to keep that standing leg straight. Engage your thigh, engage your glutes. One more. And then switch to the other leg. Again, engage that standing leg, thigh and glutes. Don't lock the knee, don't hyperextend it. Engage your tummy, shoulders back, and circle that hip. If you feel or hear a clicking noise in your hip, maybe try and not pull your knee up that much. See if that helps. And now switch direction. Engage your glutes. And one more circle. Nice. Shake your legs. Maybe grab a sip of water. Okay, and we'll start with a few active flexibility exercises standing. So if you are a beginner and this is very hard for you, we're going to lift our leg up like this. If it's very, very hard, you can also do it lying on your back, like this. Make sure your lower back stays against the mat. Okay, so you only move your leg, your back does not go up, so you don't lift your back up. But however, I encourage you to do that standing. You can also hold on to something, because then you have to work against gravity and it makes it a bit harder and more challenging. So again, weight on one leg. I'm going to show it to you once. So we're going to do 4 of each variation. So at first we're going to lift the knee, our knee stays bent 4 times, just the knee up to the chest. Then your knee will stay here, and for 4 we're going to extend the leg and bend. extend and bend 4 times, and then 4 times straight, up, and on the last one, we hold it here for 8 counts. So get ready. Engage your abs, lift your chest, shoulders back. You don't want to lean forward when you lift up that leg, okay? So even if you can't lift it up very high, it's totally fine. You will feel your muscles working. Good. Bend the knee, and let's go 4 times, knee up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay up and extend the leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it extended, down to the floor and up without kicking up, so you just lift your leg with the strength of your muscles. And now hold it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, higher up, 2, 1. Nice. Shake your legs. We'll stay on the same side, alright? Same side, same exercise, but now we're going to lift our leg to the side. So you want to bring the knee up towards your shoulder, and from here extend that leg diagonally out from your body. Get ready and lift that knee up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay up and extend. 1, 2, 3. Bottom leg straight and straight up and down 4 times. And hold it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Very nice. 2, 1. Amazing. Shake those legs. One more time, same leg. We're going to turn. Look, I'm going to turn so you can see it. You can stay where you are. And we'll do it to the back, so we also work on those back muscles. So 4 times with the bent leg back. Your chest and your upper body stays upright. Then extend. And then with the straight leg. Alright? Make sure you engage your core. You pull those shoulders back and you stay upright. You don't want to lean forward too much. Bend the knee and let's go. 4, 3, 2, 1. And extend and bend. 3. Lift the leg as high up as possible. 1. And straight leg up with control. And hold it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Good. Give your legs a shake. And then we'll repeat everything to the other side. Good. Make sure you have your weight on one leg. Engage the core. Lift the chest. And 4 times with the bent leg. Inhale. And let's go. 4, 3, standing leg straight. 2, 1. Keep your leg up. And straighten that leg. 2, 3, 4. 4 times. Up straight. With control. Don't kick. And hold it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You can do it. 3, 2, 1. Great. And let's switch to the other side. Oh, sorry. Let's switch to the other exercise where we pull a leg up to the side. Good. Engage your upper body. Leg up for 4, 3, 2, and keep it up there. Chest extend and bend. 3, 2, 1. Straight leg up and down. Your knee should be pointing up to the ceiling, not forward. And hold it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. And now one more. Lift the leg behind you. Keep the upper body straight. And we go with the bent leg. 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend. 4, 3. Engage your core. 2, 1. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. 8, 7. Lift your chest. 6, 5. Point your toes. 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. All right. Drink something. Drink some water. Just going to check if there are any questions. All right. So we're gonna come down onto our mat now. So from a standing position, you can inhale, extend your arms up. Exhale, fold forward with a straight back. Straight back, hinge from your hips. And then slowly bend your knees and step back into a tabletop position. We'll do one more active exercise before we start with the passive stretches. We're going to go into a downward dog position. Your feet should be open, hips wide, and your arms should be shoulder distance apart. You can have your knees a little bit bent because it's very important that you have a straight back, okay? So in order to keep that back straight, push your chest back towards your thighs and maybe keep your knees just a little bit bent, because otherwise what might happen is you round your back if you push your heels all the way down to the floor. All right? So if you can't push your heels all the way down to the floor yet, it's not a problem. Just accept yourself wherever you are. Keep the knees bent maybe. From here we're going to step our feet together so our big toes are touching. And now we're starting to lift one leg up. But we're not going to turn our hips out to the side, but we want to keep them square. So you always want to have that thigh and the knee pointing down to the floor and not to the side, but down to the floor. Okay, so now my hip is open. Now I'm closing it. So my thigh points down towards the floor. And we're only going to lift that leg up as high as you can with the closed hips or with the squared hips, okay? We're not going to open yet. So we're gonna do it 6 times. Shift all the weight onto one leg, and then the second leg goes up, but only until you can feel like your hips starting to open. Then you go a little bit back. Now your hips are still closed. And 5 more. Up. So don't open your hip. Don't let that thigh point to the side. Great. Now 6 more. Now we actually open our hip to the side and we extend that leg up as high as possible. 6 times. Great. When you're done with one leg, you can switch to the other side. 6 times with a closed hip and 6 times where you can open your hip. So when we do the splits, we usually, almost always, want to do them with a squared hip, so with a closed hip. But for some, I don't know, pole moves or maybe moves on the hoop or whatever you're doing, also in dance, you sometimes need to do a split with an open hip. So it would be great if we practice that as well from time to time. Come down onto your knees and take a deep breath. Nice. Good. We're going to sit down and open our legs into a stack position or sun wheel position. So you're going to open your legs at least, if possible, in a 90-degree angle or maybe even a bit wider. Alright, you will see in the next exercise how far you can open them. What we're going to do is we're going to switch over the center to our other side. What's very important here is that you try and keep your back as straight as possible, as extended as possible, and to not round your spine too much when you lift your knees up. So we're still warming up our hips a little bit with this exercise. It's a great warm-up exercise, so you also get used to that rotation. What you can do is interlace your fingers in front of you, or maybe just grab your hand, push the shoulders back, and now you open the back leg, you pull in the front leg, and you're here, and without the help of your hands, you're going to bring that front leg down and the back leg down as well. And one more time to the other side. And always work on keeping your back straight, shoulders away from your ears. Nice. Now if it's very easy, you can try and open your knees more. If it's very, very hard, you can scoot your knees in, your feet in closer together, so your knees are not that far apart. I always keep moving when I'm doing this exercise. Alright, 2 more. Nice, great. Come back to your mat if you've moved like I did. And now we're coming back onto our knees. If you have yoga blocks, you can use them now. If not, it's fine as well. We're going to bring one leg forward into a lunge. So you don't want to have a really, really low lunge yet, but you want to have your hips a bit higher up, all right? So that your hips are stacked over your knee and your shoulders are over your hips. We're gonna go down slowly into a deeper lunge with fully engaged legs and glutes. Take a couple of breaths. We're going to stay here with our body, with our upper body, so our back stays straight and not arched yet, because we can stretch our hip flexor, which is this muscle right here, den Hüftbeuger, we can stretch this one better with a straight back than with a curved or like an arched one. If it hurts underneath your knee, you can roll up your mat and use it as a double or like a triple cushion, or you can just use another pillow and put it under your knee. Alright, from here we start by engaging our glutes, especially our bum cheek that's on the side that is extended, so our back leg, okay? So you want to squeeze, and when we squeeze our bum, we can stretch our hip flexor better. Let me just switch sides so I think you can see that better. So we squeeze our bum, and naturally what happens is you push a little bit more into that hip flexor. Because in order to stretch one part, we always have to contract the opposite muscle. Okay, keep that engaged. If you do not feel any stretch yet, you can go down a little bit more with control. Inhale and exhale. When you notice you're not squeezing that butt anymore, make sure to squeeze it again. And now start lowering your hips slowly, alright? Now it's okay if your back arches a little bit. Keep squeezing your bum and slowly let your hips sink a bit lower. Make sure that your knee of the front leg is not too far over your ankles. So your knee shouldn't be here, but your knee should be right on top of your ankle. Keep squeezing that bum. And inhale again. As you exhale, sink a little bit lower, but keep squeezing the bum. Now, if you have your blocks, you can put your hands on your blocks, whatever height you prefer, and start extending that front leg. Here, we also want to work with our straight back. So don't curve your spine and try to bring your head down to your knee. Rather, you want to think of bringing your chest down to your thigh or your chest down to your knee. So you keep that shoulders back, your back is straight. And if you notice that your hips are not in one line, pull that front leg a little bit back so your hips are square again. Here, keep your thigh engaged, toes pointed for now. Really lift that kneecap up by engaging your thighs. You want to have straight back, because we can stretch our hamstrings only with the straight back. Good, let's stay here for a couple more breaths. Now flex your toes, pull them up towards your knee. So now we stretch the calf as well. Maybe you can feel it. I feel my calves are very tight today. I did a ballet workout on Friday, and yesterday I was walking around a lot, so my calves are very tight today. Now what we're going to do is bring our hands to the inside of that leg. maybe on the yoga blocks, or maybe you can just put your fingertips down, maybe you can even lie down all the way. But you want to make sure you have your hands on the inside of your leg. When you inhale, keep straightening that back, and exhale, maybe bend a little bit lower. And now we're bringing our hands to the outside of that leg. Again, back as straight as possible. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale. Maybe you can bend over a bit more. Keep flexing those toes. These exercises are perfect for targeting our hamstrings. Our hamstrings are made up of 3 muscles, and with these 3 stretches we can target each muscle head perfectly to stretch it. And we'll go over this and a lot of other stretching technique in my upcoming 5-week split flexibility class. This class is going to start this Thursday, so in January 14, and it's a 5-week course where we're going to focus on your splits, on the front splits, and I will help you get a bit closer towards your split or maybe even touch the floor, depending on where you are right now. Come back to the center. Nice, 5 more breaths here. And my splits flexibility course will be held on Zoom, so I can also see you and give you feedback and very personal corrections. So it's actually way better than just an Instagram live class. Bend your knee, come back slowly. That I wanted to do this live class anyway, so you can get a feel for the upcoming course. And if you have any questions about the upcoming splits class, just send me a message, maybe comment right here, or send me a DM after this class. We're going to switch over to our other side. Lift your upper body up. And now engage the glutes. Squeeze your butt as much as you can. Your back is straight. And now you can slowly sink into that lunge a little bit more, but still keep the glutes engaged. When we're working on flexibility, it's not really a very relaxed stretching, as you might notice, because we always have to keep certain body parts very, very engaged to protect our muscles and to protect ourselves from injury. And also, of course, for the right stretching technique, as I said before, that when we contract one part, we lengthen the opposite part. So stretching is not actually very relaxing. I mean, it can be relaxing, of course. I hope it's a little bit relaxing for you at least. But it's hard work. Sink lower, lower. Keep breathing. Keep those glutes engaged and make sure your knee is right on top of your ankle. Now we're going to straighten our front leg again. Maybe grab the yoga blocks. If you notice that your hips are not in one line, scoot back just a little bit. Keep the back straight. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Keep your back straight. Right? I know everyone, me too. I also wanted to go like just lie down on my thigh or go down as far as I can. But it's definitely way better to stay higher up if you can do it with a straight back. And just connect to your breath, inhale and exhale. Keep your thigh engaged, lift your kneecap up. Now flex your toes, pull them up towards your knee. Again, engage the thigh. And don't forget to breathe. Now we're going to move to the inside of our leg. Maybe on the yoga blocks, maybe with your hands on the floor, or you can use thick books or anything like I said, just so you can just have your hands down, like put some of your weight onto those. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale. Try to relax into that pose. As I said before, keep your leg engaged, even if you try to relax into that pose. And now we move to the outside of our leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turn to the outside of the leg. Flex your toes. Feel the stretch. Inhale and exhale slowly. Our breath is a very useful tool to help us in our flexibility training, because most of our flexibility training actually happens more in our head than in our body, because we don't actually lengthen or like make our muscles longer with stretching or flexibility exercises. But what we're doing is we have to teach our body and our brain that these positions are not dangerous for our body. So you might know that feeling when you go into a deep stretch and your body is like, oh my god, no, I don't want that, like you're going to hurt me, things like that. When we're doing stretches, we always have to remind our brain that this is not dangerous for most things, okay? Of course, if you go too deep into a stretch, or if you already work on contortion or such things, of course, stretching can also be, like, I don't want to say dangerous, but you know, there's a risk of injuring yourself. Just come back to the center and bend the knee, come back. Good, take a couple of breaths. So there's always the risk of injuring yourself, but with the right technique, of course, the risk is not that high. And as I said, breathing is very, very useful to tell our brain that this position we're in right now is not going to harm us, it's not dangerous for our body. So it's very, very important that you keep breathing, and when you exhale, you can always focus on relaxing your body. Even if you don't actually relax it that much, because you know we want to keep that muscle engaged. But it's just also thinking and visualizing it that helps a lot with our mindset for stretching. Okay, we still have some more time to practice that. We have 15 more minutes. So now I want you to come back onto your knees, and we're gonna go for pigeon pose. So one leg forward, your knee is slightly pointing to the side. So your knee is not in one straight line with your hip, but it's just slightly pointing to the side. Your back leg is straight. Again, you want to have that square split. Don't open the hip to the side. Don't sit just on one leg, but you want to keep your hips squared and the weight in the middle of your body, in the center of your body. In this position, we also have to arch our back a little bit. So be sure to engage those glutes again, and also your back muscles. So you want to push the shoulders back, push the shoulder blades together, and try to engage your back. If this is very hard for you, you can use yoga blocks or maybe a pillow or anything here as well, and put it underneath your front leg, under your thigh, like under your bum here, so you can sit a little bit higher and still you don't have all that weight and the pressure pushing you down towards the floor. Good, so find your position in pigeon pose. Keep the shoulders back. The more you scoot your heel forward here away from your hip, the more you will feel the stretch in your hip flexors, or maybe also on the other side. So like on maybe your hamstring, or maybe just the side of your hamstring back towards your bum. If you want, you can also flex your front leg and might help against any knee pain. So now we're going to tuck our toes from the back leg so we can actually push our hips down even more. Okay, so you want to push your toes against the mat, engage your glutes, and push your hip and your thigh off your back leg down more. Make sure to keep your back engaged. Push the hip down and keep breathing as I said before. Inhale, lengthen, and when you exhale, just soften into this pose without actually relaxing your glutes. Perfect. Now we're going to lift our knee up 6 times, but we want to keep our hips where they are. It's just lifting the knee without pushing our hips too high up. 6 times, let's go. You can do it in your own tempo. Keep those glutes engaged. Keep pushing the hips down. On the last one, we're going to stay up, okay? Your back knee is in the air now. And from here, you're gonna try push your toes against the mat, and always as if you wanna bring the hip forward even more. You wanna pull your back hip, the one that's from the back leg, forward and down at the same time. Push it forward. Keep pushing. You can do that. Keep your back engaged. Keep breathing. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice, good job. Point your toes again. Shift your weight back to the center. And then bring your hands all the way down to your mat. Shift back until you're on your knees. Maybe you want to wiggle your bum. And then we'll do the other side. So that's the last exercise before we're going to slide down into our splits, or as far as you can go into your splits. If you want, flex the front leg. Your knees pointing a bit to the side. Shoulders back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Engage the back muscles. We're gonna stay here for a couple of breaths. Now tuck your toes, squeeze your butt and push the toes against the floor. Try to bring your hips lower. Inhale, exhale slowly. Focus on your breath. Now, knee up 6 times. Keep your hips as low as possible. Just lift the knee. Keep your glutes squeezed. And after the 6th one, keep that knee in here. Squeeze your bum. And now again, try to push your hip forward. If you want to close your splits actively, okay? Close your hips actively. Keep pushing your hip forward. Keep squeezing those shoulder blades together. Your tummy is engaged as well. Very nice. Keep pulling that hip forward. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Nice. Thigh back onto your mat. And then slowly push up, come back onto your knees. Maybe go into child's pose for 2 or 3 breaths, if that feels nice. Alright, guys, we have 5 more minutes. So we're going to slide into our splits on each side now. And I hope we can finish at least that in time. If the class, like if Instagram just cuts off the class, I think I will start another live so you can just come back in and then we do a little cool down, because it's very important that we also cool down our body and tell our body that now all the exercise is over and that now it can relax. Okay, for the splits, you might want to take your yoga blocks or books or something where you can just put a little bit of pressure on. Maybe fold up your mat once or twice. Okay. Come back into a lunge position. Now it's also very important that we keep squeezing our glutes and we keep squeezing those shoulder blades together, so we take a little bit of the pressure off our lower back with engaging our upper back. If you have yoga blocks, you can have your hands here on your yoga blocks. If not, just have them on the floor. It's also always nice to have yoga blocks because then you can actually straighten your back more. Okay, so now when you're going into the splits, you're going to straighten your front leg and go down, but you're not going to open your hips, as I said before. Let me just turn around to show you from the side. So you have your hips square and your thighs pointing down towards the floor. Your heel and your knee and your hips is all in one straight line. So often it happens that our foot moves in more and more, and what happens is we open our hip to the side. So make sure your knee and your ankle stay in one line. Now when you're going down, okay, just as far as you can, wherever you are, that's fine. You want to make sure that your thigh is always pointing down to the floor and not to the side, okay? So now my hip would be open. So you always want to keep that closed. Stay here. Take 10 or 20 slow breaths, okay? Whatever you can do. If you can only do 5 or 10 breaths, just come back out, then maybe go back in. You want to keep your bum engaged and your back as straight as possible. Front leg, your thigh is engaged, and also here your leg might want to slide out to the side. Try and keep it as straight as possible. Try to keep your hips square. Keep breathing. Keep engaging those legs and your bum. If you look back over your shoulder, your toes should still be in line with your hip. You can try shifting a little bit more weight onto your hip flexor. Okay? Or maybe if you know you still have a lot of work to do in your hamstrings, the more you lean forward, the more you're going to stretch your hamstrings. After you've taken a couple of breaths, you can come out slowly. We're going to do the other side. Just take your time. If possible, I will also save the live video, so like if I'm too fast for you, you can always come back later. On our second side, again, make sure your ankle is in one line with your knee and you don't want to let that foot slide in more towards your center. Keep that bum engaged. Keep your your quads engaged, your front leg. And slide down. In the upcoming flexibility course, we have a bit more time than just 60 minutes, which is better. Each class is 75 minutes, so we can add a couple more stretches then before we actually go into our splits. I'm still a little bit stiff, not able to go to my full maximum, because I personally think that just 60 minutes is pretty short for flexibility training. Of course, it doesn't have to be like longer always. Sometimes it's just nice to stretch for like 45 minutes, of course. But yeah. I think you got a taste of what flexibility feels like, so that was fine. Keep your legs engaged, don't forget, squeeze your shoulder blades together. What you can also do is, if you have a third block or you just have one block, you can put one block or maybe two, it really depends on where you are, underneath your front leg, your thigh, or maybe more towards your knee. And then you can basically sit down onto that block. You know, even if you need two of them, you can also do that. Here, underneath, here. And then you can sink lower into it without having too much pressure. Maybe you can even lift your arms. And whenever you're ready, come back out. Drink some water. It's been over an hour now and live class is not over yet, so maybe Instagram changed their live feature. Just finish your splits slowly, take your time, and we'll just add the cool down. Just gonna see if there are any questions. I don't think so. Okay. So, because I think we still have time, we're going to do one more strengthening exercise before we actually cool down our body. With this exercise, again, we're going to try and tell our body that the position of the splits, or wherever you are on your journey on your splits, is actually something your muscles can support, your muscles are strong enough to hold that position. That's what we're trying to tell our brain. So what we're gonna do is extend one leg just as before, as you wanted to go down into the splits, and now you need something where you can slide with your front leg. So if you're not wearing socks, maybe you wanna just grab a towel or a t-shirt or anything to put under your heel so you can slide on the floor. Remove your mat as well so you can slide. Now we're going to slide down as far as possible without any help of our hands or yoga blocks or anything, okay? So maybe you're not gonna come down as far as before, or maybe you can actually come down into a split. Like if you're sitting in a split, what you can always try is come back up out of the splits without using your hands as help. Yeah. Unfortunately, I cannot show you today because I couldn't come down into my splits on my good side at least. But when you're sitting into your splits, you wanna, as we did before, push against the floor and try to push your back hip forward and your front hip back. So you try to lift off the floor without using your hands. And basically that's what we're gonna do now as well, just probably not sliding down into the split. Yet. It's always a yet. Alright, let's go. We're going to slide down, and when you feel you're on the point where you can't go any deeper and push yourself out of it as well, you're going to slide back up. 5 times on each side. You slide back down and pull up. Maybe you can feel that you can go deeper after the first couple, 2 or 3, and back up. So 5 times on each side, or you can do more if you like. Squeeze your bum, really engage those legs. And try to slide back up without using your hands. Okay. When you're done, come back to your mat. We're going to lie down on our backs. Just take your time. You can start rocking your knees side to side, or just do another movement that feels good, that you feel like you're needing right now. Slowly come back to the center. We're gonna go for a figure 4 stretch. Lift one leg up and place your ankle on top of your thigh. Push the knee out to the side and flex your foot. Lift the other one up, flex your foot as well. Reach behind to the back of your knee. Pull your legs closer, maybe push your upper knee more to the side with your elbow. shift the weight more onto your back leg, you know, not the one that's crossed over, but the other one. You shift it more to this side. You will feel more of a stretch in your glutes back to your hips. So this side, just of the other leg, the side of your glutes, the side of your bum. We worked our glutes a lot today, so we should stretch them. You can also repeat that exercise again in the afternoon or tomorrow if you feel like your glutes are very, very tight. And now we're going to switch to the other side. Push that knee to the side and interlace your fingers behind your knee. Maybe push the knee more to the side with your elbow. Shift the weight. I immediately feel a more intense stretch when I shift my weight, which is very nice. Keep flexing your feet. And slowly exhale and release. And then straighten your legs. Open your legs. Just relax them and let them fall to the side. Let your hands come to the side, or maybe rest them on your tummy, whatever you prefer. Just try to find stillness here. Maybe close your eyes if you want. Just focus on your breath. Breathe naturally. Whenever you exhale, try to relax your whole body. Intentionally release all the tension that you still feel. If you feel one body part is more tense than another one, focus on this one. Always inhale, and when you exhale, focus on relaxing that body part. And on your next inhale, reach your arms up over the head. Squeeze your whole body one more time. Lengthen from the tippy toes up to your fingers. And exhale, relax. Let go. One more time. Engage everything from the top of your head up to your toes. And exhale, release. And slowly hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Maybe you want to thank your body, thank yourself. Thank you, body, for being healthy and letting me work on my dreams. When you're ready, sit back up. Just take your time. Thank you very, very much for joining me today. I hope you liked it. Feedback is always welcome, so if you have anything to say, just send me a message. Also, if you have any questions about the upcoming flexibility course, just add it to the comments now or send me a message afterwards. It will start this Thursday at 3:30 p.m. 5 classes, it's gonna be 50 euros. And to sign up, you can just send me a DM and I'll send you the link, or I'll sign you up if you don't speak German, since my website is only in German so far. Thank you very much for joining.